Hey everybody, welcome to Badge and Banter. I'm your host, Charlie Whittington, Lieutenant and PIO for the Lawton Police Department, and we're broadcasting from Cameron University. And like I said, this is Badge and Banter. So it is a show about the Lawton Police Department. It's about our culture. It's about upcoming events. It's about our city. And we came back from a little bit of a break. We had a Christmas break and New Year's, so a little bit of a hiatus on the show. But we have a really cool guest today in the studios at Cameron University, and it is one of my really good friends, Captain Ulysses Henderson.
I know, who would have thunk?
Who? Not me, not you.
Right.
Right? Look at us, Captain and Lieutenant. And so this show started a few months back. I think this is show 7, show 8. I got to get my numbers right. But we talked about who we're going to have in, you know, what kind of guests we're going to have in, what we're going to talk about. And no captain, no lieutenant here. It's just Yuli.
Right.
You and I have known each other forever. I mean, your entire time on the department, my entire time on the department. Mm-hmm. So you were definitely one of the ones I was like, hey, we got to have Yuli in here. This will be great. We can chop it up, and we can talk about old stuff. We can talk about new stuff coming up. So I'm glad you're here. Thank you.
Oh, well, thanks for having me, man. This is an awesome thing you're doing. I think it's really great, you know, to kind of get just the interpersonal relationships and being able to see the officers of the Lawton Police Department as more than just the uniform that's showing up on the call in somebody's worst time. So, yeah, this is a really good thing.
I like it. The public seems to receive it pretty well. You know, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, and we've got a lot of stuff going. Our Facebook has picked up really well, Instagram, all that stuff, the social media stuff, and I think this podcast is being very well received. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback. So, yeah, it's a good thing you're here. I'm glad. So give us a little intro about yourself. I mean, I'm everyone's best hype man is what I've said, but there's something to how you put it on it. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from California. Don't hold that against me. I've gone full on Okie since being here.
Hollister, you know where Hollister's at?
Yeah, Hollister. There's nowhere near the beach. There's no seagulls.
So that seagull on the shirt is not.
That shirt's all bad. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to write a strongly worded letter
to somebody.
Someone.
Yeah.
Not in Hollister.
Right. But I grew up in California. When I graduated high school in the year 2000, which seems like so long ago now.
When I graduated, yeah.
Right, yeah. Joined the Army and landed at Fort Sill. Went to Korea, and then I had station of choice. And my sister was living in Arkansas at the time, and we're still to this day very, very tight. She's my best friend, so I wanted to get close to her, and so I chose to come back to Fort Sill. And then a year after being here, she moves back to California, where she still lives today. And I've just been here ever since. So got out of the Army in 2004 and was going to go to school here at Cameron and then go back in the Army as an officer. But I knew I needed a job. And so the police department was hiring. And my roommate at the time said, man, I think you'd be a great cop. And it wasn't even on my radar. And so I tried out and got hired and been there ever since.
Do you remember your tryout date? You and I weren't in the same tryout class.
No, I think you had already got on. Because my hire date was August 2004.
Yeah, so because I came in January, but that's what I was trying to think when I was on the way over here. I was like, how many classes were in between you and I? I know that
maybe one. My tryout was in May.
So Paulie and Curtis went, and then you went.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Okay, so yeah, just 04, yeah. And then you're coming up on.
Be 21 in August.
21 in August, yeah. Mm-hmm. There you go. Yep. Fantastic. And you hit your. So let me ask you this: being a newly 20-year officer, to me, a newly 20-year officer, both of us, did it feel different?
No, it feels the same to me anyway.
There was no difference at all. Like when you woke up on your 20th, you were like, no different.
Other than, wow, I made it. I made the 20. And then
no kind of relief, no kind of stress. You're like, 20.
I really didn't feel anything.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. You're one of the first. Well, usually when I ask them, they're like, yeah, I could tell a difference. There was just like a little lighter step, you know, a little sweeter smell, you know, something. But
something in there,
maybe. Yeah. But yeah, just another day, I guess. Well, good. Yeah. So rocking 21, and that'll be really good. So, but career-wise, I mean, there's something to be said for being a street officer, being a patrol officer your entire career, and that's admirable. But to go further, to take that step, to do promotions, to go into the field, to become a supervisor, become a leader, and then you're not checking all the boxes.
Yeah. It really came down to, so I get hired in '04 and I'm rocking along, and had to put the PD on pause for a little bit because I was in the National Guard and ended up deploying to Iraq, come back and got to get back into it. And, went from there to COP and a couple other positions. And then at a certain point, it was like, I think it's time to test. And really for me, it was, I think I can do it better than that guy and that guy.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, that's good though.
Be the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I put my name in the hat and made lieutenant, and then made captain,
and it was quick. It was for you. It was. I mean, I know.
Yeah. So that was 2014. I got promoted with Schwank and
was I think Captain Mason and Alvarez. I think she was in that
right
group
before
too.
me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then our time, like as far as like Yulee Charlie time, we go back to the COP days. You talked about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We were there 3 years?
Yes. That was probably I was there 07 to 09.
Yeah, it was you and it was me. It was Brian Brunker, who's left the department, Wichita Falls now, right? He's down there. And then Steve Martin, not the actor.
Right.
But he's retired and left. But yeah, you and I were in there, and that was like the Yulee and Charlie show.
Yeah, that was a blast.
I tell everybody when I go through with the academy, and that's probably one of the funnest times, other than right now, is probably one of the funnest times I've had on the department.
Yeah, so definitely. And we were able to get a lot of stuff done, as far as just interacting with the community. And I think that was my favorite part, was just being able to educate and answer those questions and kind of put or add to the perspective of the citizens about law enforcement. And then, we had obviously the community events were awesome. I think we, to this day, put on the best picnic, Cops and Kids picnic.
I'm not going to say we did.
Yeah, we invented the Cops and Kids poker run.
We did.
That was our deal.
We did do that.
The inaugural,
we did that.
Yeah. So, that was a lot of fun. I got to learn a lot, just about, I think it made me a better officer, because instead of just seeing, show up on call, deal with problems,
criminal element,
go back to work.
Exactly.
Go back to work, get to the next call. Like there was actual interaction with people. The saying, know your audience. Well, I actually had to learn that, to know who I'm dealing with and be able to not necessarily like analyze, but just be able to look into what the problem is, and truly do some problem solving, because the conversations would take place outside of the emergent situation.
Yeah,
there
after when things have kind of toned down,
right? And then those neighborhood watch meetings and things of that nature. So,
but then I mean, and I don't pat your back here because you're one of my best friends, but I'll tell you this: there's certain people that just in those jobs and in those elements just do it right. And for you to be able to go there and talk to those people, talk to the community, and just put a face and a family behind that badge. You know what I mean?
Right,
you just build that bridge between the community and the police department. And I think that helps in the long run. And in your career, let's see, that was, back then, how has that advanced you? Do you think that's helped moving forward into the police department?
Definitely, because I think, that started my ability, or at least my want to learn how to see a bigger picture, right? And see how my role plays a part in the overall bigger picture, and not just, not just showing up to the call, looking for criminal, answering it, and then moving on to the next one. If you remember, back then we had the Lee West neighborhood watch that was having all those issues. And they came to us, and that started with just two neighbors that were like, we have a problem. And so we were able to sit down with them and come up with a solution and affect that solution. And before we knew it, people were back to walking outside in the evenings after being holed up in their houses. People were back to, hanging out at the parks and things of that nature. There was no more graffiti on fences and things. So being able to identify a problem or see a problem, identify a solution, and then carry it out and see how the police and the community have to work together to make those things happen was really beneficial for my career.
You're right. And for that, like we say community policing, like the division, I think there's that separation. People try to put that separation as like, well, I'm not COP, but you are as an officer.
Right. For it to truly be a philosophy,
everybody's
got it. Everybody's doing it.
Yep.
Yes.
Your community policing, that's just a way to police.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
I think that if you're building that bridge and you're closing that gap between the community and the police department, you're rolling through a zone with your windows down, and you stop and talk to people, and they're having a barbecue out front. You stop and talk to them for a little bit. Hey, what's going on? Play basketball in the street with the kids. Have a water balloon fight. Things like that. You just you show that human side because this is a career and it's a job for us, but you have to have that compassion and you have to have that want to serve and just be that in the community.
Yes.
So
yes.
it is
Definitely.
definitely a plus. Well, speaking of the COP, they put on the Citizens Police Academy, which was a big thing for us too.
Right.
Putting that on.
That's huge, and I've been thankful that even since progressing and coming out of community policing, still being a part of the Citizens Police Academy and being able to help and assist in that program. For the last several academies, I think week 2, I get to handle and teach the patrol functions
For the uniform patrol, and not to mention you're the SWAT commander.
Yes. So I get that. So that's 2 weeks. Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that program is very special, and I just love to see when people come in there and when the light bulbs come on, and not really the light bulbs, just I didn't know that.
That aha moment.
Yeah, that's why they do that.
Yes.
So the calls are prioritized. That's why.
Yeah.
It took X amount of minutes for an officer to get there, so being able to explain those things. And I think that's important, understanding the why,
Yeah.
I think is more important than it ever has been.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to get buy-in from citizens if you take 10 seconds and explain this is why we're.
I think that does correlate, and I think that with the Citizens Police Academy, and for our listeners that we've talked about before, the Citizens Police Academy, it's a 13-week class. It's totally free. It is at the Great Plains Technology Center in the 900 building. It's put on by our community policing division, and it's Thursday nights from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is, it's just an overview of the police department. And like Yuli said, he comes in and he'll talk about the uniform division. He'll talk about how many people we have on each team and what each team the breakdown is, and East Side and West Side lieutenants and captains. And we talk about SWAT. We talk about the dive team. Each week you get a police officer. So you have a captive audience as an officer to the 40 people that are in the class. And then the 40 people have an officer that any question that they've ever had can come up.
Right.
And it works out really well.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite part. I have some PowerPoint slides we'll go through right quick, but when I get the questions, and it has yet to fail, I think I'm given an hour and I go well over my time.
We all do.
Yeah, the questions just start coming, and the
you have that gift though. You have that interaction, that ability to pull that.
So and you don't want to shut it down, and I want, especially because I'm there till 2 a.m. anyway. So
yeah,
might as well ask away.
You guys are here, yeah. And it is a lot of fun. Now we do have one coming up, and we'll talk about this a little bit more too. But that next class is starting February 6th. We have applications for that online. Those are on our Facebook page. You can contact the training division at 580-581-3569. Ask for Sergeant Dimmitt, and he will be the one taking that. So they're looking for that. And also, they get Cameron credit hour for it. Mm-hmm. If you're a student, you get a credit for taking the class. And it's free. So, you're getting educated. You're getting a credit. Cameron students, I don't know why. That's kind of a no-brainer, I would think.
Right, for sure.
So we talked about Cameron. We talked about the CPA. It's kind of funny how this all circles back around. You have a little more involvement with Cameron than just the average officer, I would say, right?
Right, yeah. So back in 2018, I was fortunate enough to go to the Southern Police Institute at the University of Louisville for the Administrative Officers course, which is basically just a command level leadership course in residence down there. But as a part of that course, I received, I think it was 18 total hours towards my master's. So I went ahead and finished up and got the master's from the University of Louisville. And with that, I came back to Cameron and became an adjunct. So since 2022, I've been an adjunct adjunct professor here at Cameron. Yeah,
with speech.
Not a speech professor.
No, he's not. They what we actually saw coming in the door, we saw one of your prior students, your former students in here.
Yeah, sure did.
So you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, that's been a blast. Kind of along the lines of the CPA, because those students will come in, they have all these preconceived notions about policing and police work, and then
from cops and TV shows,
Hawaii
5-0,
and all those things, right? And their own interactions. Instead of Hawaii 5-0 nowadays, is Facebook and TikTok.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. The instant. Yeah.
Yeah. So they get to ask questions, and sometimes the plan is to do this chapter in the textbook, and a question will get asked, and we won't make it because we're just
sidebar
on that, right? Yeah, and I'm here for that. So I tell them what if me to death, and we'll talk about all those things, because at the end of the day, it's all about this is an opportunity I have to ensure that these students have an understanding before they go out into the criminal justice world and become practitioners.
Well, then how cool is it for Cameron University to take on an instructor who is a captain on the police department? I mean, you have so much knowledge close to your vest as far as like the Lawton Police Department, the city of Lawton, the inner workings of the city, the criminal justice system, the SPI Institute, the SWAT team, patrol. I mean, you're just well-rounded in it. And to be able to give that back to not only Cameron and the community, but advance the police department in that realm, that's huge. That's a huge thing.
Yeah, it's been a blast. I've been doing it, like I said, since 2022, and I've had 2 or 3 students that have applied and become, police officers that have come and started working in our jail.
Yeah.
And, so I really look forward to every semester, and really enjoy that aspect.
I like it a lot. It is a lot of fun, and like you said, we get to see a lot of people that come up through the correction side as far as staff, and then we've had some that have applied as well. We have a graduating class Put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. A graduating class coming up. Maybe we need to take speech.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes. We'll figure that one out. We have a graduating class coming up next Friday. So the Lawton Police Department has our own police academy, and they are graduating next Friday. So that's going to be a really cool deal. And then we're having an overlap. So this upcoming Monday starts a new academy.
Right.
And then Friday, the current academy graduates.
So it's getting busy.
It's
around these parts. Yeah.
Busy.
Yeah.
I would absolutely say that So I know that the training division has been busting their humps to get this stuff going, and kudos to them. That's a great crew that's out there. I know that even with your schedule now, you teach the academy. You instruct with our own academy.
I get an opportunity to go out for firearms, and then some of the SWAT guys get to teach building searches.
Yep.
And laser
training,
active shooter
trainings.
So being able to teach is something that I thoroughly enjoy, and being able to teach firearms and make sure our newer officers are prepared to go out here and not only defend themselves, but more importantly be able to defend the citizens of Lawton. That is crucial and very important to me.
How different do you think, looking back from when you got hired on in 2004, and at that time we would go to Oklahoma City to the training center, and we'd go up there on the weekdays and then come back on the weekends. The difference, not so much good or bad, but the difference in how we've progressed. Like we talk about, you don't police the same way you did 20 years ago.
Right.
But you definitely don't even police the same way you did 5 years ago.
No.
So, I mean, do you see that there's like an ever advancement and changing in that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the way we have our academy, because as our instructors are doing the job day to day and then recognizing what those changes need to be, then there's a direct implementation into the academy. Right. Instead of somebody afar, handling academy and they're trying to,
this is the way we did it,
generalize it for, however many different agencies are coming up there. Ours is catered to what we're seeing in our jurisdiction, you know, how we're policing in our jurisdiction, even to how our DAs, you know, are you know, want things presented and want cases filed and stuff. So I think what it has done for us having our own academy here is being able to basically custom mold an officer to what the Lawton Police Department, what the citizens of Lawton, you know, need out of their officers. And I think that's the biggest change.
And we also do that. It's not only for our officers too, but just surrounding agencies.
Yes.
We have for Southwest Oklahoma. I know this last academy had maybe 2 or 3 outside agencies.
Yeah, and that's great because it's a huge logistical, you know, nightmare to try to get a guy certified. You know, we're very fortunate here at Lawton that, you know, we can hire somebody and we can allow them to take, you know, 6 months to go through the academy.
Yep.
And then, you know, before we're expecting them to be on the street. And some agencies don't have that. You know, if they hire a person because they need a person and they need that person now, you know, to work. I've even heard of guys going to the academy then having to come back and work the street on the weekend.
On the streets on the weekends. We had some people do that.
Right. So I think it's awesome that the state allows us to be able to bring those outside agencies here so they're not having to travel all the way to Ada or, you know, some other place. They're still a little bit closer to their families. And if they're at-home agencies or, you know, need them to work or need them to respond to something, they're still here. They're not trying to traverse, you know, come from the other part of the state and get back here to go 10-8 for something. So, yeah, it's been really cool.
And that helps us with the outside agencies as well, looking for, like, lateral officers.
Yes.
You know.
Absolutely. I think several have, you know, we've trained them, and then a little while later they end up coming.
They cut their teeth and then, you know, pay their dues and, you know, for the agencies where they were and then come back and apply.
Right.
Yeah. And we're looking for laterals too now. If anybody is interested and knows anybody that is certified, come over and check us out. Like I said, call the training division, 580-581-3569. Talk to the group out there about maybe coming over and becoming a lateral for the Lawton Police Department, abbreviated academy and all of that. And still same group of instruction, same group of instructors, and you're working with the officers. As far as an instructor, I think it's really cool to go out there because you're, like you said, you're molding your own officer for that, kind of cater to the citizens of Lawton, a customized police officer, if you will. But you're working with your backup. This person is going to be out there with you on a call. This person is going to be out there with you taking a call. So you ensure that they're doing things the way they need to do it and get it right.
Absolutely.
Because this person is going to be your back one day.
For sure.
And you look at that. So in your whole schedule that you have between Cameron, between family, between, you know, SWAT, all that, you work evening shift as the captain on evening. So explain a little bit about how that works.
So my shift is Wednesday through Saturdays, 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. And I have not, even with 21 years on, gotten smart enough to leave that shift.
We were on midnights. Yeah, you were captain on midnights when I was a lieutenant in patrol on midnight. So we were there for a little while.
Right. Yeah.
Which you prefer better?
Definitely evening shift.
Yeah,
definitely evening shift. Yeah, midnights is tough. I mean, it can be done, but it's
midnights in the winter time.
Oh yeah, that is a grind for sure.
Rough.
But yeah, so you know, Wednesday through Saturday, 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. And that really helps out the Cameron stuff because I tell the students, like, if you need to call me before you pass out while you're studying midnight, call because I'm awake.
I can help you.
Yeah. Do that. Then, you know, we work a 4-on-3 off schedule. So I still have, you know, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. Got my classes during the day, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And got my firearm industry gig on Tuesdays down here at the local gun shop at Valor Defense Depot. So that's pretty fun. You know, just started that to learn a little bit more about the firearms industry because as much as I'd like to, I can't be a cop forever.
Well, so you're stacking up your Social Security credits.
Exactly.
Checking those boxes.
Yeah. So, but you know, I try to save Sundays for the family and make sure I'm not doing anything but sitting at home and playing with kiddos and watching football.
You're watching some Cowboy football?
And watching the Cowboys.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. For those listeners, just so you know, Ulysses is them boys.
Oh, yeah. We still them boys.
It's 2025. This year. You guys got it this year.
Yeah. Well, I knew 24 we did not. But I am looking forward to September 2025.
This weekend upcoming, you'll be off.
Yeah.
For Sunday. It's going to be cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So were you working was it last week with all the snow? Were you guys out in it?
Not till, when did that come in?
That was, man, I want to say that was like Thursday, Friday.
So yeah, I was here Thursday,
Did
Friday.
Did you see our video online about the stay safe, stay off the streets?
I did.
You know, we're on the tri-level.
Yeah, loved your hat.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad. A lot of people liked it. We got a lot of positive feedback on that on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They like the hat. We're actually on the tri-level, and we're trying to make sure.
That's a dangerous place in that weather.
Yeah. Yeah. To be filming a video like, hey, on safety, guys, be careful. You know, don't get out in it. If we're in it, I was tense, and it wasn't just because it was cold. I was like, hey, okay, we got some good video.
I'm sure there are people still driving on that.
Yeah. The one lane we were in was closed up to a point, but then the inside lane was just smooth.
Yeah.
So shout out to Lieutenant McCallick and Sergeant Ney. They were assisting with that. Ney was keeping the traffic off of us as best he could with his traffic vest and one hand moving people over, and then Lieutenant McCallick was filming, so it worked out really well. All right, moving on to our next segment. We talked about social media. It's going pretty well. We're getting a lot of good feedback. We did.
And I'm pretty impressed with the department's ability to change with the times.
The chief has been really on board about it. I think it kind of started when we did that lip sync battle. Remember that?
Yes.
With Taylor Swift and all that, and it was Detective Warren, and it was Sergeant Jenkins, now in training. But we did that with the lip sync battle, and I'll play that too at some point on our Facebook page, kind of like a throwback. But I think with that, the chief has been really receptive. He even said it on our first episode. He's like, sometimes he's a dinosaur, and he has to get with the times. And he's been real receptive to anything, just like this podcast. I've kind of hit the ground running, taking all suggestions from people, from the department, from outside the department, on things we could do to kind of get that communication and that behind the badge kind of feel. And one of those was a rapid fire Q&A. I know you've probably seen some of those. I cornered somebody at the station, and I was like, hey, we're going to ask you a bunch of random questions about yourself.
Oh, okay. All right.
And you just got to give quick answers. And then we may segue off on your answers. So are you ready?
Yep.
Hobbies while you are not at work.
Shooting,
just
not
sports shooting.
Yes.
Like
training,
hunting,
hunting, firearms training. Yeah.
Okay. What was your first job?
Pot washer at a retirement home. I washed the dishes in the kitchen at a nursing home. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How? I didn't know. I did not know that.
Yeah, in Los Altos, California. Yeah,
That's
my
awesome.
godbrother was the head dietitian there.
So you just scrubbing pots?
Yeah, 14 years old, riding my bike up there, scrub pots.
How much you get paid?
Oh, like $6 to $7 an hour or something like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Do you prefer text or phone calls?
Phone calls.
Yeah, text can be kind of misconstrued.
Right, and with the schedule, I don't have time to be typing it out. Call me, let's get it out.
Yeah, let's hash that out. Favorite food?
Everything.
Specific.
Korean
food?
Yeah.
How long have you been on LPD? We've said 21
years. Yeah.
Yeah, 21 in August.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And your favorite season? You can't say salt.
Fall.
Okay. I said that one day, and someone was like, salt. I was like, not seasoning.
Oh.
So salt. And I was like, so I had to stop it. And I was like, okay. Detective Morant threw me for a loop when he was in here, and we got him at the range one day, and I said, what was your favorite season? He said, branding season. And I was like, oh, you got branding season. So you said fall?
Mm-hmm.
Just because of football, because of the weather change?
Cools down, and you're getting ready for that Christmas season. And I don't know about you, but policing it seems like people just get a little bit nicer.
They do.
In that October, November.
It's that season of giving.
Yes.
And it's
people are just a little bit nicer.
Yeah, because it's colder.
Maybe that's it, right?
We'll take it. Yeah. I do like it. You're right, and I do see that a lot. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. Fun fact about yourself that someone may not really know.
Oh.
And what you want people to know. Because remember that we got our listeners. So fun fact about yourself.
That's interesting. I am a big fan of history.
Okay.
American military history specifically.
Okay. Any specific time period that?
The Civil War, because there are a lot of leadership lessons that can be learned from that time period and the generals in that time period. You got to think, we were a fairly new country, right? And in civilization terms, we're still a fairly new country.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then you had these warriors that were, before the Civil War, they were going to West Point to going to colleges together and serving together. And now, because of where they were from, they're going split. To be at odds in a warfighting scenario. And so, as we tried to navigate that time period in history, there are a lot of leaderships learned from not only President Lincoln but also General Grant, and some of the other generals there. And we can take those leadership lessons and apply them not only to corporate America, but also in the policing. And so as a student of those lessons, that has, being able to read some of those texts and literature about that time period, some of which from the people that were there, their very own words, that has kind of helped me be a better leader today. So,
well, you talked about the leadership skills. There's a book. When I became lieutenant, you told me to read, and it was Lincoln on Leadership.
Yeah.
And one of the things I remember the most was Find Your Grant.
Find Your Grant.
Yeah. And so it was a really good book. So if anybody has any Lincoln on Leadership, it's a really good leadership book. And so you like history. We got that. What's your best or your favorite pizza topping?
Bacon.
Mm-hmm. Like Canadian bacon or like
no, regular
smoked bacon, greasy
hickory, smoked,
peppered bacon,
American bacon. Yeah.
Okay. Like a bacon with extra cheese. If you have to order pizza and it's just you don't have to worry about the family. You're going to order a pizza with bacon on it.
Definitely bacon. Yep, for sure.
And favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Okay. Why? Just
because people are still so nice. There's it's weird. There's just this feeling in the air as I drive down Gore Boulevard, and
people are waving.
Yeah, and
so everybody's nicer. That's
right.
Definitely a plus. And then let's see, favorite movie.
Coming to America. Definitely Coming to America.
So when I met my wife, she had never watched Coming to America. Remember this?
Yeah, I remember this.
I called you, and I said, Yuli, I have an issue. And you said, what is that? And I said, my wife has never watched Coming to America. And you were quiet. But she has fixed that. And now if you ask her, if I called her right now and asked her, hey, what's your favorite movie? She would say Coming to America. Yeah. And I promise you, if it comes on TV, she will watch it. She will stop what she's doing in the house and she will watch it.
It's timeless.
It's timeless.
And I guess why that movie is so great to me is because when it came out, that was 85, 86. Yeah. So we would have been 5 years old.
Not watching
it. Yeah, exactly. And then, now we're older and it just gets funnier and funnier, because you're seeing it from we've gained in perspective and become older and we're just seeing it from a different side now.
Yeah, it's 88.
88, yeah. So 6 years old.
We were 6 years old. So, yeah. And then you get the jokes now. And we took a trip to New York over fall break, and we drove through Queens. And if you've seen the movie, Queens is the part. It's just a character in itself of this movie. And I was thinking of New York, and obviously in 88, and I was like, oh, man, this might be sketchy. And we drove through Queens, and I was like, all right, this is not bad at all. That's pretty cool. So we dressed as New Yorkers. I wanted a big puffy jacket with a big scarf and everything like that. And they played so many characters in that movie.
Yes.
Eddie Murphy, and a lot of people didn't realize
the talent of them.
I think Eddie Murphy played like 3, maybe. I know, maybe 3 or 4 people in that. Yeah, right. It's just, man, it's just such a good movie. It
was ahead of its time.
Yeah, and I'm appreciative for it. So I always ask that too in the academy, and I don't force it on people, but I do. Like if you haven't watched it, I'm like, you're probably doing yourself a disservice.
Little shaming going on.
Like you're doing yourself a disservice, and it's just so quotable too. Every time I talk to somebody, and I maybe once a week, I'm like, aha, aha, and I love it. So, and it's really good because a lot of us on the department are in that group, that age range, to where we speak movie quotes frequently, and that's one that we always gain them from. So, definitely a good one. I knew that answer before I even came out. So, if there's something that you want to see as listeners, hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on social media, message us. You can at Lawton PD PIO at lawtonok.gov, Lawton PD PIO at lawtonok.gov. You can get us on there if you want a topic or somebody you want us to talk to or something you like to listen about. I mean, as far as like, this is kind of like the Citizens Police Academy. You can, we'll talk to you about what we can. But I encourage you for the CPA, I do encourage you all to, if you want to get a group of your friends together and go out on a Thursday night from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock and listen to some officers about the Lawton Police Department, about your community, do it. It is a definite plus. So that's upcoming February 6th. So please do that. Applications are online. If you look on our Facebook, there's a QR code. City of Lawton has graciously posted it as well. Caitlin and her crew have put that out, so that is a definite plus. Check out that QR code, scan it, apply, and then you can come out and see us on Thursday night, put a face to a name. Obviously, we don't have video in here right now, but we are working on that, so definite plus. If you're interested in becoming a police officer, apply. Call us.
Definitely.
Call training. I mean, this is definitely, I say changed your life, being a police officer. It has. That would be, but it's a beneficial career.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I say you become somebody's police officer. Mm-hmm. You know, you help people in that time. You help people in their events, whether it's something really scary or just something like helping somebody fix a chain on a bike or something minor. You're their police officer. People have come up, given us hugs, and you can't look at how many lives. I mean, you've changed just being here and being on the department. So, I mean, it's a very fulfilling job. It's a very fulfilling career, and it's a really cool one.
Yeah.
On top of that, I mean, you've enjoyed your time on.
Oh yeah, I'm still having a blast, and I feel like I could do it another 20 years.
I don't know about I could do another 20 years. But yeah, you're right. Check out the PD, whether you want to go to the academy, like, and become a police officer. Check out the Citizens Police Academy that starts February 6th. That'd be a great thing. And like I said, you can hit us up on Facebook, on social media, on things you want to see, things you want to hear here on the podcast, and we can hopefully oblige. Final thoughts. What do you think? Do you have anything that you want to let the listeners know, or kind of give some Yulee insight?
I think one thing I could say is definitely want to thank all the citizens for their continued support. The city of Lawton has been good to me and my family as far as, my career and the longevity of my career and things. And we look across the country and see some of the issues that other cities are facing. And we just don't have some of those issues here. And that is just truly a testimony to, the support we get from the citizens. In some places they're riding in the streets and, trying to harm officers. And here we're still getting the thank yous and random,
food to the station.
Yeah, exactly. So I just, really want to thank the citizens of Lawton for their continued support. And not only, in that aspect, but their continued support in just where the department is going. When we started out 20 years ago, there was some equipment.
Yeah.
And now there is a lot more and better equipment. So just seeing how the department has progressed in the last 5 to 8, 10 years, we've just taken leaps and bounds in our capabilities and knowledge and things of that nature. And that, again, is attributed to, the citizens, because without the citizens, without them believing in us and having that legitimacy, then, we wouldn't be able to do any of this. So thank you, citizens. And hopefully we can continue to serve you and continue to make you proud for more years to come.
I love it. I love it. Well, Yuli, thank you for being on the show. We, like I said, this was a long time coming, and you'll be a repeat guest. I promise you. And
anytime.
throwing you in as a co-host, that'd be even better because there's so many more stories that we can go over and tell, but we just don't have that kind of time. So,
right.
but so to all our viewers, to all our listeners, thank you very much for your support. Stay with us, and we'll have more episodes of Badge and Banter coming at you. See you then.